Well, we were at Winback Farms looking at the yearling consignment all afternoon. Amy and I and Mario and Steve. Did you know that meet that gentleman, Richard Value? Nice guy. Anyway, we were looking at all the babies. I made 3 or 4 videos, I think, from the Winback consignment for Ontario, and we'll be putting those out tonight. But before we do that, let's talk about the 2-year-olds that we have in training and racing right now. Some of you are wondering, hey, is the horse still racing? Is the horse racing in the stake races or just overnights, or what's the plan? It's me. So let's get right to it. Adrenaline Rush, I heard, trained very, very good on Saturday. He'll be in to go this week. Now, he makes a grassroots semifinal, but he would need a little help. He would need a little help to he might make the final, but for him to win the final with horses that have shown 151, 152 in the not so distant past, I think it would be very difficult for me to predict Adrenaline Rush with any sort of super favorable finish against those types of horses. But that is why we race the horses. We never know for sure. Barbie's Crown is back jogging now. She looks really good. She put on a lot of weight and looks really good. She's back jogging now full time. She'll start training. I just talked to the only guy that owns another half of her. So Steve's the only guy I'm talking to right now. Oh. Barbie's Crown will begin training the end of the month, I think. Beef and Cheddar paced 53 the other night. You know, again, 51 in a piece. You know, it's ridiculous. 2-year-old non-winners of what, 15,000, 20,000 life or something. They go in 51, so Beef and Cheddar pace 53. Be nice to get a decent mark on him before the end of the year. Braemar is going to be hopefully in on Friday. He's got 1 start left. It's a fairly stiff stake race that he's in. I believe it's called the Simpson or the Liberty Bell. I'm not sure, one or the other. But he'll be in on October the 9th. That may possibly be his last start. He doesn't have too many more left for this year, but he's turned into a pretty decent colt this year. I looked the other day. I think he's only missed the board once or twice in his whole life, and he's had a pretty decent year. Better's Hope still turned out. He'll be turned out for a while. We'll give him lots of time, bring him back. Here's a colt that we paid pretty good money for. We thought was a really good horse. Didn't pan out this year, so I want to give him all the time. I don't want there to be an excuse in this universe why this colt didn't turn out when we bring him back. So Better's Hope still out for a little bit, and then we'll bring him back. Blue Monk, Kevin told me the other day he'll be ready first part of November, so he's training down now. I imagine he'll start training him. He might have already started training him. He'll be training down. Brilliant Corners, got a lot of vet work done to Brilliant Corners. First time he's seen the vet in his life was last week. We got a bunch of vet work done to him. Make a few little changes with him, and he'll be in to go maybe this week. When is the finals? Maybe the finals are his first start, his next start back. October the 5th. Somebody said 3rd. He's coming up. He's made it in the semifinals. Oh yeah, he made it. He made it in the semifinals. So he'll race in the semifinals. I don't know if he'll have a prep race before then. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. So either way, Brilliant Corners has the semifinals coming up soon. Broadway Roll, as I said, I continue to say we just try and kill some time with her until London opens up and we get a little bit of cheaper racing. I would say this way, honey.
What? Way over there?
Yes, way over there. There you go. Yeah, that way is going that way. We need to go that way. I continue on with this particular way over here, and we will go from there. We just got to get to south. Yeah, south here, Ontario Street. We just want to get to the 401 or the 407. So Broadway Roll, again, as I said, we're just trying to keep her as easy going as fresh as we can until London opens up. Cambridge Star is back training now. I believe he's back training, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's been in long enough. He's been back training. Do you put any weight on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good. Good. So Cambridge Star, we have him primed. We'll have him primed for London also this fall. Camp Muscle Me is jogging full time down in Harry's barn. I imagine he'll start training her first part of October. Captain's Mate is turned out at Winterwood Farms. She'll be out for 4 weeks, and then another 4 weeks, and then we'll bring her back in. Now up here is 407. Probably going to want to get in the right lane. Where are we at now? Carry a Big Stick. We got some shoeing changes made on him. Harry said he's still a little picky on that right front, but he started training him this week. Cut the Line is back in jogging training. She's back in training now. I saw her yesterday. She looks good. A little heavy, but she looks good. Eternity Road isn't quite in training yet. They said he still starts out a little stiff on that leg. That's that scar tissue from the cryoing. That's not unexpected. I told him just to continue to jog him until he is ready to train. First Glance was a winner at Kawartha Downs last night. Raced very, very good, 55 and 3s. Turned out to be a nice little 2-year-old for us. Fox Valley Britskus turned out, he was just tired. I drove his last start at Northfield Park. He did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. Finished 4th, I think, but just felt tired. So I had sent a note out to everybody just saying, I'm going to freshen the colt up. This is a colt too, although he didn't race that much. We were pretty rough on him all spring because he was such a little troll to do anything with. And just needed extra work and extra work and extra work. And I think it might have taken its toll throughout the summer. And I think he's a little bit tired. Frilly Fringes is back training now. Johnny trained her the other day, said she trained well. And 21 said she did knuckle over. So we did treat her with a little bit of Baycocks. We're going to keep her on Baycocks for a little while. See if we can't. So knuckling over as a horseman, are their stifles weak? Is it a problem with the shoeing? Do they have a little touch of EPM? Does that bother them? A lot of times you see horses knuckle over and knuckle over quite a bit like that. People will treat them for EPM. And the treatment, one, there's not a lot of downside to it. And two, it's still cheaper to treat them than it is to definitively diagnose them with it. So Frilly Fringes is on Baycocks, and she's going to continue training down. Girls with Swirls, I suspect the same type of thing with her. She used to knuckle over quite a bit. Now, I thought it was because she was a little immature, and I haven't really got any updates as she hasn't started training full-time yet, but she will this week, and I will keep a very close eye on her. Gray is the new red. We entered her at the Meadows the other day. Actually, she got a torturous trip in Delaware. Give her a week to forget about it, and then we're going to train her up and probably race her once. You might say to yourself, why not Northfield? You're right there. Because they're not 2-year-old races. They mix them with 3-year-olds at Northfield, which is kind of tough. Not a big fan of it. The 2-year-old races in Pennsylvania are segregated to PA owned or sired, but they're frequently short, so they'll take other horses on. So we're expecting an entry from Gray as the new red in the coming week. GW Chrome is qualifying on Thursday. Schooled great the other day for Jason. Jason will go ahead and qualify him on Thursday, and then he too will likely get a start at the Meadows. Now the great thing about this guy is, although he was sore, he did have a big rest. He is sharp as a tack. He's put on some weight. He has the Sire Stakes consolation. Somehow a lot of horses didn't race in the Sire Stakes this year, which made the Sire Stakes consolation thinned out. We finished 4th and 5th once each, but we had enough points to make it into the consolation. So he gets to race for $75,000 in another few weeks. Where are we at now? Holy Chick looks like $1 million. My God almighty, she was always picky with her feed. Now it looks like she ate another horse. She is big, and she looks great. John Evans was at the barn the other day. He told me how good she looked. I saw her yesterday myself. She looks like $1 million. Italian Grit, short rest for him. Then he's going back into the roster. We'll race him this winter. He's coming back with Jason when he drops off. 2 horses to be turned out at Winterwood. We're going to pick up Let's Roll On and Italian Grit and bring them back. Aglariam is racing Wednesday at the Meadows, hoping for a good start from her. I'm a Lovely Lady's got 1, maybe 2 starts left. 1 in the consolation for sure. 2, I'd like to get her a prep race too if we could. That would be neat. I'm Hill on Wheels gets the work done on that crowing work done on that left hind this week. This week, somewhere at the end of the week, we'll have to contact Melissa and get that done. Jazzy Judy, 3 to 5, I think morning line. Steve just told me, unless he was joking. I don't think he was. Jazzy Judy's a favorite to win the second division of the second elimination of the Delaware Sire Stakes. She won the first division last week. She's in to go this week. Jim King has done a great job with her. Jessie Balboa is back jogging and training now. Jessie looks good. Keystone Raven looks really good. Fat. She's a big filly, but she's training down good. Happy to see her sharp. Let's Roll On, as I just said, will be coming back next week. He'll be coming back to Northfield. We'll put some work into him. And then when we pull the tent pegs and head back to Canada, he'll be coming back with us. Miss Meringue, another filly that's out. Had a decent year, this filly. 3 or 4 wins on the fairs. Took a mark of 2.5, 2.6, maybe 2.3. No, 2.6. And then trotted in 59 or 2 minutes at Delaware last start of the year and looked really, really good doing it. My Jazz, who would have thought? Oh, I skipped one. Mama Knows Best has entered the Lasix program. I tried to steer her away from this, but I believe that those little flecks that we saw were posing a problem for this filly. So we entered her on the Lasix program. She'll race maybe once before the finals, but definitely has her big start left in the $75,000 consolation of the Ohio Sire Stakes. My Jazz is all done her year, $117,600 US she cleared this year. That is a big year for a very small filly. Nobody would have thought that this filly would have been the best filly we had in Ohio, and regardless of what I think or what I don't, she made the more money than virtually all the other fillies, not virtually, than all the other fillies put together. So My Jazz, a big year for the little girl. No Free Lunch come back to himself the other night, 26-4, and the end of it was screaming on the end of the mile and looked really, really good. Northern Blizzard will be qualifying Tuesday at Mohawk. James trained him yesterday, said he trained very, very good. So yesterday will be Saturday for me as it's Sunday. Off-Road Hanover's put a ton of weight. It's hard to believe how much this horse has put on since he came in. He came into the barn. I saw him the week he came back. He looked skinny. Look, he was running the fence all summer long, and they have been pounding the feed to him. He looks good now. He looks like he put on a ton of weight. Perfect Record will race this coming week. Also, Rose Run, Why Not, will be racing once more. Now, her half-brother sells, by Triumphant Caviar nonetheless, sells on the 13th of October. So if she happens to race on the 14th, that would be okay too. I think I like her a lot. She had a tough trip. I think she scoped a little bit sick afterwards in Delaware. It's not the end of the world. Certainly not the finish we were looking for by any stretch of the imagination, but doesn't take away from the fact that she's a very, very good filly and looking for still some starts in the fall. Set the Mood has been in 214, I'm told, and he's looking very, very good. I saw him jog on the track. I thought he looked fine. So Admirable, we're going to give her a little time off. I talked to Kevin the other day, and I said, rather than trying to race against aged horses at Flamborough, she has to race against 3- and 4-year-olds. Why don't we give her a month off, bring her back, and race her in the wintertime, where she can race against 3- and 4-year-olds when she's 3, and she's put on some weight. She looks great and has matured and filled out a little bit, and he was on board for that. So we're Fat Bastard Burrito. I couldn't even. Anyone will name that. Mm-hmm. That's weird. So Admirable is gonna have some time off just to fill out, cool down. She had a good summer. Aside from her start, was kind of tough on her at Mohawk. She didn't really get a chance to race.
I don't know where I'm going.
Just keep going until you hit the forest. I'll look on my phone. Look on your maps on your phone. So she'll race probably later on in the fall. Cyrus Blue Chip, he's out again. He's out for a little while. Again, a colt that always seemed to be a little off, a little pinchy. We're going to give him time to fill out and mature. He'll be back in later in the fall. Stacy Hanover, I gave her a little more time off. She trained down, qualified the other day, 2-2 last quarter in 31. She did her work, but was present. And for her to get to that point was a lot of work all summer for that filly. So she's big, she's giant, she got her ass popped up in the air. Just going to turn her out and give her some time off, and that's exactly what we did. Sunshine in May kind of got interfered with the other night, I thought. Can you turn that up louder?
I'm going the wrong way.
Turn left onto Williams Parkway.
Yeah,
Why is it saying you're going the wrong way?
it's asking me to do a U-turn.
That's a little ridiculous. Oh. Sunshine in May, so she's... What's that? That's what I thought. Sunshine and Megan interfered with a little bit the other day. It looked like something happened coming to the half. She got jostled. Listen, she's not good enough. She's not a filly that can pace 58. As I said before, we'll probably like to put some lines on her and sell her at some point in the fall. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Sunshine in May. Sweet Ambitions trotted in 2 minutes the other night. She can't trot any faster right now. Do we turn her out and let her mature? It's possible. I can see us doing that. I just saw Mario, and I meant to ask him about that filly. I'll talk to him this evening or tomorrow morning about what he thinks about Sweet Ambitions. Tanzanite Tricks, I've been threatening to race her now for the last 3 weeks. Kevin told me he thought she trained better the other day. He made some equipment adjustments. We'll see what this week brings for Tanzanite Tricks. She could be in to qualify or race at any point. I don't want to give you guys the wrong information, but I think that she's on the tipping point where Kevin either has a real good handle on her or maybe she's struggling a little bit. So I think he was optimistic about this week with her, so we'll see. That's My Girl. Was very good the other day. A winner 158 last quarter, 28-3. She looked really, really good. She's got a stake coming up on October the 6th in Indiana. Tipsy and Dixie has a race coming up too, a big one, the semifinals and then the finals for her this coming week, I believe, in Ontario. Walk on the Moon. His eye's getting better, you thought? Mm-hmm. His eye was bad. was really bad. He had a real gray spot on it, and it's getting better now. He's in good spirits, and he's keeping his weight on, but it's been a real chore, and I don't think anybody, I spoke to the surgeons about this horse, and it was a real coin flip whether he might lose his eye, and it was a real scary time. I know Amy's been going 3 times a day to treat the horse's eye and make sure that he's comfortable. So he's in good spirits, and he seems fine. As far as is he out of the woods, I don't really know yet. I believe he is, but I'm not positive. Warwi was up, still waiting. Again, somebody said the other day, well, I mean, we're waiting for this medication. It hasn't come for him yet. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter whether he gets it now or in a month or in 3 months. He can't get back to it. It won't work any better the quicker you give it. A lot of the rehab for this horse is time. Revolves around time and letting that injury heal. So that's where we're at right now with the horse. The same place we've been for the last 3-4 weeks with him. But we will be sure to have him treated up and healed up, and whatever course the veterinarian believes we should be on with this horse as far as a rehab program, that's exactly the course that we will follow. Where we welcome, as turned out also, we were going to try and race her, and then Mario schooled her the other day and said, she seems okay. And I said, listen, if she doesn't seem completely awesome, I don't want to hear about it. Just turn her out in the field, and we will give her every opportunity to be the horse we need her to be. And if she isn't, then she isn't. But for now, she isn't right now, so we've given her time just to relax, cool out, reset, and we'll bring her back in another 5-6 weeks. Well and down, we will be entering her in the consolation. If she doesn't get in, then she'll go directly to the field. There'll be no more racing for her this season. She's got, 4 wins, a mark of 56 and 20-some thousand made as a 2-year-old. I'd say she's had a fairly productive year and won my heart. Hanover is training back now. Mary said she looked good. I don't know. Won my heart.
Fat.
She's fat? Yeah, Amy said she's fat. That's all right. We'll get the weight off her. She's training down now. We'll see how she handles everything and have her back for the fall. So that's all the 2-year-olds. I'm going to talk about the 3-year-olds, the stables. We'll run through them all and then be done. Be back in just a minute.